ang immediate members of the family, 24 hours pwede bumisita sa amin, nakakulong kami.
I have told the President that they can visit him at his detention facility because at this time the order of the day is to load him into a plane. So that's what we endeavored to do, and that's what happened, sir.
Katulad nga na sinabi ko kanina, yung mga nakakulong nga, 24 hours pwede bumisita ang immediate members of the family. Bakit ito hindi pa nakakulong, hindi niyo pinapasok yung anak?
Our mission at that time, sir, is to deliver him to the body
Kahit
who issued the
ano
warrant,
mangyari,
sir.
Nasa batas yan. Nasa batas yan, General. Immediate members of the family, lawyers, priests, etc., etc. I should know. Nanggaling ako dyan. Chair, let it be known that I am not protecting or I am not defending anyone, much less the former president of the Republic of the Philippines, President Duterte, since I am an ally of this administration led by President Bongbong Marcos, and at the same time a friend of Vice President Inday Sara Duterte. Now, since you've been asking the questions addressed to Gerald Torre, may I ask Gerald Torre, how did you think did you handle the arrest of former President Duterte properly?
Yes, sir, I do, sir. It's proper.
It was proper. But when I saw the video, it was really, for me as a citizen of this country, it was really unbelievable. It was a very, very big disappointment. Because I can relate, General. Because when we were arrested, way back 2001, together with my father, the same thing happened. All right, we were in the wee hours of the morning. We were the policemen barged in our hospital room at the Veterans Memorial Hospital. They were arresting us. They wanted us to be transferred to another detention cell because after the May 1 siege, at ano sabi ng mga police? Kalad ka rin na yan mga yan pag ayaw sumama. At the same time, when I saw the video, parang nag-flashback sa akin yung ginawa ng mga kapulisan ng araw sa amin. At ang sabi mo, hihilahin ko yan, hihilahin ko yan. Is that what you said, Gerald Torre?
Sir, it's already all optics and tactics already because it's already.
No, I am asking you. Did you say that? Hihilahin ko, hihilahin ko.
Yes, sir. And I actually made good of it, sir.
No. What prompted you to say that?
Sir, I made good of it, sir. Sabi ko, sir, hihilain ko yan. And I went back to AS Medialdea, handcuff him.
Bakit mo nga sinasabi? You know, your statements based on the video may reflect the PNP as an institution. Baka sabihin lahat ng ating mga kababayan, ganyan pala yung mga pulis. Masyadong wala man lang respeto sa matanda, sa isang dating pangulo. Ganon din ang ginawa sa amin eh. Can you justify why you said that hihilahin ko yan? Nakita ko si dating Pangulong Duterte, di naman lumalaban. What prompted you to say that?
Mr. Senator, respectfully, the threat of hihilahin ko na yan was not towards the president, the former president. It was ensued after a heated argument between his counsel and General Torre. In no way was the former president threatened with bodily harm.
Yes,
who was addressing the sinong sinasabihan ni Gerald Torre? Was it the lawyer or was it the former President Duterte?
Lawyer, sir, Attorney Medialdea. And actually, sir, after that, I actually went back to him, placed handcuff on him after reading him his rights and arrested him for obstruction of justice. And after that, sir, I brought him to the bus and came back again and told Attorney Delgra he's next. And again, sir, I will reiterate all credits goes to the former president because after he saw that I'm already very, very serious in bringing him into the plane, he said, okay, let's go. And I told Romy, the PSG, to just escort him, and he went voluntarily to the bus that brought him to the plane.
Correct.
Sisingit lang ako Senator Jinggoy. Kasi binabasa ko rito yung standard operating ng PNP. Ang liwa-liwanag naman eh. No torture, no force, no violence, threat, intimidation, or other means to vitiate the free will to be used against the arrested person. Eh di the more so, yung mga kasamahan ng arestado. Eh sabi mo nga, ikaw na nag-admit forcefully. Eh talagang you used force. Eh bawal po yun.
Ma'am, it is, I placed E.S. Mijaldea under arrest for obstruction of justice.
Eh, sabi
And-
nga ni Senator Jinggoy, hihilain mo pa.
Yes, ma'am. I did because I have to get into their heads to make them to make it very, very clear to them that we are already very, very serious
O,
of
tama
loading
nga.
the president to
Oo
the
naman,
plane.
General, pinapaliwanag mo, pero bawal ang paggagamit ng dahas, ng pananakot,
Ma'am,
ng
just to be clear.
intimidation, or any other means. Ang
Ma'am-
liwanag eh, nasa kapulisan yan eh.
Ma'am, just to be clear, operationally, there was obstruction of justice. It was the decision call of General Torre to place him under arrest for obstruction of justice. Now, let us separate what happened to the president.
You're talking about Attorney Medialdea.
Yes, ma'am.
Eh, paano yung iba?
No one else was armed, ma'am.
Yung attorney.
No, wait.
Yung abogado.
If I may, Senator Amy.
Yes.
Madam Chair.
Ayan.
Sino yung kinaladkad nung isang pulis?
Yung security na nakaitim.
I think it was General Torre na hinila yung isang abogado.
Dalawa yun eh, yung abogado, hinila yung upuan, di ba? Tapos yung nakaitim na si Q, eh kinaladkad din.
Si Attorney Delgra, sir, because he is next to be arrested, and because of that, the president, former President PRRD, saw that I'm already that serious, and he said he prevented the situation from further deteriorating and escalating. So he said, "Let's go."
Isn't he entitled to a counsel of his choice, General?
Yes, sir. For 12 hours, he was there.
Oh. Can't he speak to his client? Bigla niyo na lang...
They are there for 12 hours, sir, speaking to each other.
Ano?
They are there for 12 hours speaking to each
Alright.
other, sir.
One more thing that I noticed in the video, no? Ang sabi ni PRRD, papasukin niyo yung anak ko. Abogada siya. At ang sinabi mo, hindi ko siya papapasukin. Why not, Gerald Torre?
That is a decision. That is my call, sir. That is my decision. Considering that
Okay.
he had already been assisted by 3 lawyers all throughout
Okay.
that time, sir. And gabi na ho yun, sir. The request was
Ano?
made at around mga 9 o'clock na, sir. 11 hours
Gerald
after
Torre, ganito,
the
ha?
first arrest.
Tanggalin mo na yung titulo ni Inday Sara. Kalimutan mo na siya na Vice President siya. Pagpalagay natin hindi siya Vice President. She is an immediate member of the family. Nung kami po ay nakakulong, ang immediate members of the family, 24 hours pwede bumisita sa amin, nakakulong kami. Eh ito, hindi pa nakakulong. Anak ito. Bakit hindi niyo pinapasok?
Eh, maliban doon, is this not a violation of RA 7438 that requires that you guarantee access to an attorney? In addition to the immediate family, the president also said na yung anak niya, yung babae, abogado ko yun, papasukin nyo. Hindi nyo pinapasok. Eh, abogado yun eh.
Actually, sir,
Exactly.
first to answer the question of Senator Estrada, sir, I have told the president that they can visit him at his detention facility because at this time the order of the day is to load him into a plane. So that's what we endeavored to do, and that's what happened, sir.
Ano niya bibisitahin yung tatay niya? Sa Netherlands. Hindi naman dito tinray eh. Hindi naman dito kinasuhan eh. Sa ibang bansa eh. Oh. Bakit hindi niyo man lang binigyan ng kortesiya yung anak na isang abogada na magkukonsulta? Katulad nga na sinabi ko kanina, yung mga nakakulong nga, 24 hours pwede bumisita ang immediate members of the family. Bakit ito hindi pa nakakulong, hindi niyo pinapasok yung anak?
Our mission at that time, sir, is to deliver him to the
My God.
body
Kahit
who
ano
issued the warrant,
mangyari,
sir.
Nasa batas yan. Nasa batas yan, General. Immediate members of the family, lawyers, priests, etc., etc. I should know. Nanggaling ako dyan. Tapos ito, hindi naman nakakulong. Again, I am not defending President Duterte. I'm just explaining the rights of an accused. Because naging akusado rin ako. And I don't want that to happen to anybody else. Dapat naman nagbigay kayo ng konting kortesiya o respeto man lang sa mga dating presidente dahil naranasan namin yan. Nung kinulong po yung tatay ko, ganun din. Kawalang respeto ang mga pulis sa amin. Porket nawala na ba kami sa kapangyarihan, ganun na lang. E matanong ko naman siya, General, wag naman po sana mangyari, God forbid. Sa pag sinapit ng ni President, pag sumapit ng ganitong sitwasyon si Presidente Marcos, gagawin mo rin ba yun sa kanya? I hope not.
Ang liwanag po ng batas, kung ma-follow up ko lang si Senator Jinggoy, tama po siya. Hindi lang yung immediate family, medical doctor, pare or religious minister, any national non-government organization, ang CHR, international non-government accredited by the Office of the President. Lahat yan may access, pero pinagbawalan ninyo. On 2 counts, immediate family na, abogado pa niya. Bakit ganun?
Ma'am, I think that's sub judice. I think we should be wary of many of the things you're mentioning
Bakit
here.
po naging sub judice yun?
Ito kasi, ano yan, habeas corpus po ang petition. So everything about the arrest will be asked by the Supreme Court.
Kanina pa natin
kung pwede ho.
pinag-uusapan yung aresto.
Pero I think that we're just passing, parang lumalampas na po tayo sa boundary.
Senator Jinggoy, pa?
Ang sinasabi ko lang, the manner on how the former president was arrested, because ayoko naman mangyari sa darating na panahon na magkakaroon naman tayo ng ganyan. Sana makapagbigay lang ng korting kortesiya man lang, nakausapin yung mga abogado, pero nakausapin yung mga members ng immediate family niya, sana naman binigyan niya ng pagkakataon. Kaso mo, nung nakiusap si dating Pangulong Duterte na papasukin yung kanyang anak na abogada, tanggalin mo na hindi siya, na vice presidente siya. Abogada at anak niya, member na immediate family, sana naman lang binigyan niya ng pagkakataon. Makita niya yung tatay niya bago niyo siya isinakay sa plano. Yun lang naman yung sa akin. Masakit. Ako, isang anak na meron din akong tatay na kinanon ninyo. Masakit para sa akin.
Pakipaliwanag din. Maraming salamat, Senator Jinggoy. Marami tayong pinagdaanan, kapatid. Kaya't eto nga, talagang dinudibdib natin
Madam Chair,
to. Yes, Secretary John Vic lang po.
Kay VP, kay Senator at sa iyo, hugot ng mga anak ng presidente yan.
Sumpa. Secretary John Vic, itatanong ko lang, why was there obstruction of justice? Paliwanag lang. Anong ginawa nila na obstruction of justice?
I think General Torre would be the best one to explain that, ma'am.
General?
Sir.
Sabi niyo nag-obstruction of justice kaya aarestuhin na rin ninyo si Attorney Medialdea. Ano po yung ginawa ni Attorney Medialdea na obstruction of justice?
We're about to load an arrested person into a plane to transport him to the tribunal who issued the warrant. And Attorney Medialdea is preventing us from doing that. He shouted at us and intimidated us, including the president intimidating me.
Alam ko malaking tao si Attorney Medialdea pero hinarang ba kayo? Tinulak ba kayo? Wala namang ginawa eh. Hindi naman nadadaan sa salita yung obstruction eh.
He did, ma'am. So I do believe that under that circumstances, I have to arrest him to reasonable force. And I do believe that I used the reasonable force to ensure compliance, for him to step aside, for us to load the former president to the plane.
So yun lang yung obstruction dahil nagsisigawan yung mag-asawa?
He is preventing us from doing our job of loading the former president to the plane.
Hinarang ba kayo?
Yes, ma'am.
Anong ginawa? Hindi
Nakikita
namin
naman sa video
makita
eh.
Ang
Nakikita naman
nakita
sa
ko
video.
lang, pinipilit niyo iposas, hindi magkasya yung posas.
Yes, that's one thing, ma'am. He's blocking my way. He is preventing us. He actually placed another chair at the side of the president for the former president to sit, which is already very much delaying everything because the plane is already ready to fly.
Ba't kayo masyadong nagmamadali?
We are going, unang-una ma'am, ang reglementary period, mamalasin naman kami pag hindi namin ginawa ang trabaho
Bakit?
namin.
Anong reglementary period? Anong period yun?
The Article
Dahil
125
sinabi na nga ni Executive Director sa ating PCTC na diffusion lang naman yun eh. Wala nga commitment pinag-uusapan dun eh. Wala nga red notice, pambira eh.
There is a warrant.
Takal na ni Arnie Tevez eh. Wala pa rin, di ba? Ba't kayo nagmamadali? Ano yung reglementary period mo?
May I refer it to the SOJ, ma'am, if the SOJ wants to answer that.
Hindi ba pwede kayo na muna? Mauna lang kayo, tapos sa si SOJ. Pwede?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
My main processes during the time is that I have implemented a warrant, and it is therefore the person is already arrested by virtue of a legal warrant, and Article 125 comes into play of the revised penal code, which is entitled Delivery of Persons Legally Arrested to the Proper Judicial Authority, and I do believe at this point the judicial authority will be the ICC. Therefore, I have to abide with that Article 125 of the revised penal code.
So inaamin mo warrantless arresto? Kasi yung Article 125 ng RPC does not apply kung may warrant. So inaamin mo walang warrant?
At the many stages, ma'am, all the many other, among other
Make up your
laws.
mind, General Torre. Warrantless arrest ba to o may warrant? Kasi ang liwanag naman ng Article 125 eh, ng revised penal
I do
code.
believe that I have a warrant at this time. I just don't want to be...
Hindi walang reglementary period. Mamili ka. Kapag warrantless arrest, edi may period. Kapag may warrant, walang period.
Just the same, ma'am, I have to deliver
Hindi
him to the
pareho
judicial
yun,
proper
kapatid.
authority.
Hindi magkapareho yun. The reglementary period only comes into play when there's a warrantless arrest in accordance with Article 125 of the revised penal code. Di po ba? At saka may kinalaman yun sa delivery of the accused and arrested. Di po ba?
And I'm being cautioned by the DOJ, ma'am, that it may be sub judice already to discuss that because of the habeas corpus pending in the Supreme Court, ma'am.
Pati ba naman ang revised penal code? Naging executive session. Pambihirang buhay ito. Okay. Senator Cayetano?
Ma'am, can I have a few questions, baka 10 to 15 minutes and a short introduction lang. Okay. So, good afternoon ulit, gentlemen, ladies. Pasensya niyo yung aking introduction. I'm not imposing this on you. This is my personal code, di ba? So, more than being Alang Cayetano or a senator, a former Secretary of Foreign Affairs or former Speaker or Congressman, I believe I'm an ambassador of the Lord Jesus Christ, di ba? So, I'm not imposing that on anyone, but our USEC here will tell you, ambassadors don't have opinions. Kung ano ang sinabi ng principal nila, yun ang iyong opinion. Hindi ka pwede magsariling opinion. So when we pray, yung Lord's Prayer na, Your kingdom come here on earth as it is on heaven, you're actually aligning your government and your culture with God's culture, di ba? And God's purpose. Yung pinakasimple is, do good or promote good, prevent evil. Parang sa police din, Sir Marbil, di ba, na prevent evil, do good. Saan nagkakatalo? Nagkakatalo dun sa mga pro-Duterte na the drug war was a war for peace and order. It was a war because many pushers and to certain effect addicts who committed crimes were making people unsafe. So to those who are supportive of that, they're doing God's will of promoting good. Doon naman sa human rights activist, ang ano nila, accountability. So kahit yan ay pusher or addict, hindi dapat patayin na lang or EJK. Wala tayong complication if Duterte was more like FVR or more like Pinoy because his language was more diplomatic. So you wouldn't hear FVR, despite being a distinguished soldier, one of the founders ng special forces, di ba, even sa police, di ba? So, pero kasi si President Duterte may lengguwahe, pag lumaban, patayin nyo yan, his explanation is that yun kasi naiintindihan ng kriminal. Pero ang police, aral yan, so alam nila tama't mali. So if you looked at the videos when I was the foreign minister, I had nothing to do with operations, but part to nung explaining to the world what was happening, and part to nung communications. It was both based on the foreign policy, and the President allowed me to put a little bit of my opinion. So ang stand namin doon during that time, and this is where I'll start my questions, SOJ, is that lahat ng mali iimbestigahan. So the only way that President Duterte will have a chance to show na walang systematic culling of addicts, extrajudicial killing, walang crime against is individual, one-on-one investigations. What confused everything during that time? First, meron po kasing issuance ang sila Secretary de Lima noon, ni-redefine nila yung extrajudicial killing. AO 35. Kaya yung 13,000 to 18,000 na patay every year during the Aquino administration, suddenly nung Duterte administration, so nung time nila, sinabi nila hindi extrajudicial yon. So nandun sa AO, tinanggal nila yung mga activist na hindi daw extrajudicial killing yon. So pagdating ng Duterte time, basta't patay at hindi natural causes, extrajudicial. Okay? Pero klaro din naman na dumami din because nga, once you started the campaign, meron talagang away among the syndicates, meron, from the start, Duterte said, meron politiko, meron police, may businessman, lahat yan may involved sa drugs. And no one of us naman doubted that. Ang question lang, yung due process sa mga police at politiko dun sa drug war. So, klaro tayo dun. So, eto lang yung question ko. SOJ, feel free kung tingin mo, sub judice or issue na to, but factual lang, no? I think this is of public record. Former Senator De Lima was CHR, was a Commission on Human Rights chairperson 2008 to 2010. Tama, no? Yeah. So, no one disputes that. Sa pagkaalam ko, wala siyang final na case during that time na siya'y CHR. So, I'll just check that, Madam Chair, and then submit it to the committee. But ang pagkaalam ko, walang case. Okay. But eto siguro masasagot ng DOJ kung hindi ngayon, just forward the answer. From 2010 to 2015, despite the investigation of former Senator De Lima noong 2008 to 2010, ang sabi niya, mahirap kumuha ng witness kasi nga mayor pa siya noon, tapos malakas daw sa presidente noon. I think he was peace and order head nung region eh. But 2010 to 2015, siya ang DOJ secretary. Sa pagkaalam ko, wala rin siyang final na case. To your knowledge, may final ba ang DOJ noon or special prosecutor against Duterte ng 2010?
I have no idea,
yeah.
sir.
Can we double check?
I will double check,
yeah,
sir.
Okay. Sa pagkaalam ko po, sir, wala. Okay. Ang point ko is that either wala siyang kaso, meaning wala siyang ebidensya, because if she had, why didn't she file it? During the time na siya nakaupo, na walang poder si Mayor Duterte. Okay. Fast forward, 2016, September pa lang, so June 30 kami naging senador, siya, I was an incumbent noon. July, last week of July ang third week ang SONA, so July, August, September. Wala pang 2 buwan as senator, nakakuha daw siya ng 2 importanteng witness, si Edgar Motobato and former PNP officer ba siya or Arturo Las Cañas. Again, I won't make a judgment here as far as the 2 witness, but dito niya ginawa, okay? Again, no cases filed, and yung pagkagawa ng hearing was very political. I was just testing the credibility of Edgar Motobato and Arturo Las Cañas. For all I know, they were very credible. Pinatayan ako ng mic dito sa sesyon. Inagawan ako ng mic, ini-intimidate ako. And although namagitan si Senator De Lima, hindi niya sinensure, hindi niya pinagalitan yung umalis ng mic. And anyway, history is the record. Ang point ko, still they did not file cases dito sa Pilipinas. Pero hawak nila yung 2. Sabihin mo nang walang mangyayari, I don't agree, but sabihin mo walang mangyayari kasi panahon ni President Duterte yon. So again, fast forward, no? From 2022, June 30, when President Marcos took over in Marcos administration, to present, do you know of cases filed against President Duterte, whether it's murder or crimes against in the Philippines?
I think Senator Sonny Trillanes filed cases.
Okay. So meron.
But this went to the office of the Prosecutor General, who immediately forwarded the said cases without going to my office to the Ombudsman. And there, it's already, it was locked in there already. It never went back to us.
So as we're discussing naman SOJ, this is factual lang naman, di ba? May case ba, wala? We're not making judgments dun sa cases. Because, but ang point ko kasi, kung walang case, bakit? Kasi kung walang ebidensya, no point for ICC to take it up. Kasi wala ngang ebidensya. If it's because hindi matry dito, for whatever reason, di ba, pinoprotektahan natin, our justice system doesn't work, then dapat mapunta sa ICC. So I don't know the amount of evidence attached to the complaint of Senator Trillanes. Again, I won't comment. Factual lang yon. I have my opinions, but I'll keep my opinion to myself, no? But in June 24, 2022, so ano pa to? Duterte pa to, no? Kasi June 30 pa ang Marcos, di ba? Nag-file ang Solgen sa ICC ng deferral request. So, you're aware of this. Okay. So, tignan na lang, nasa page 315, no? Kasi, can I have the, ayan, sa ICC. I think you talked about jurisdiction, but hindi nagsentro sa Article 17 din, pero sa ICC, hindi dun sa batas natin. Okay. So, I think the deferral was based on
ito yung notice of deferral.
18-2. So, just for the record ng mabilis lang, I haven't even read that yet, but just for us understanding, and then baka makatulong not necessarily on what side, but makatulong sa Supreme Court, no? Okay, Article 17, issues of admissibility. Having regard to paragraph 10 of the preamble of Article 1, the court shall determine that a case is inadmissible where, okay, ICC to, Rome Statute, which we ratified and then we withdrew, no? Sabi A, the case is being investigated or prosecuted by a state which has jurisdiction over it, unless the state is unwilling or unable genuinely to carry out the investigation of prosecution. So again, SOJ, I won't put you on the spot, but for me, 2008 to 2010, hindi naman unwilling at hindi naman unable to carry out yung state. This was the time of President Arroyo. 2010 to 2016, to be fair, ni-ratify yung ICC 2011 pa. So, naging effective 2011. So, wala na yung 2010. But for me, 2010, 2011, ganyan, hindi unwilling ang state. In fact, pumirma nga sa ICC, hindi rin unable yung state. Wala lang talagang final. Letter B, the case has been investigated by the state which has jurisdiction over it, and the state has decided not to prosecute the person concerned unless the decision resulted from unwillingness or an inability of the state genuinely to prosecute. In general, SOJ, SILG, no? In general, Sir Marbil, Chief PNP, in general, I don't remember that the Philippine government decided not to prosecute, di ba? Kasi under our present laws, if you find probable cause, even the President cannot stop it. Even ang pardon natin, iba sa US Constitution. Sa pardon, you can pardon right away sa US. Sa atin, kailangan, ano na, di ba, final, di ba, kailangan final and executory.
Final
diba?
judgment.
Final judgment, di ba? Final judgment. So kung nag-a-appeal ka pa, hindi ka pwedeng humingi ng pardon. So I don't think we stopped any case or refused to, The third one is the person has already been tried for the conduct in which the subject complaint and trial is not permitted. So I think this is their version of double jeopardy, no? So wala din yan kasi wala pa namang kaso si former President, former Mayor Duterte. Letter D, the case is not sufficient gravity to justify further court order. I won't comment dyan kasi nasa ICC yan. Except that, ang nilagay nila, at least 19, and then at least din ba yung 23 o 23. So, I have a little bit of a problem that. Kasi pag sinabing crimes against humanity, naaalala mo na yung mga dictators of the old sa Africa or some in the troubled areas of, not the untroubled areas of the Middle East na grabe ang patayan and everything, di ba? So to put the Philippines there with President Duterte, I think it's a little bit unfair na gamitin mo at least, di ba? Kasi kung sinabi mong from 17 to 1,000, at least may idea tayo. Pero at least 17, ano yon? Baka 18, baka 19. And don't get me wrong, every life matters. Pero iba kasi yung crime against humanity, iba yung murder lang.